Good Monday morning, yeah. If you're on the other side of the earth, good Monday evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Avenger Pretenders. I wanted to get the screw up out of the way quick. Tonight, myself, the redneck, and Sully the geek, we're reviewing Agatha All Along, episode number 6. So, do me a favor, grab whatever adult beverage it is that you want to drink, something to munch on, sit back in that beanbag chair and enjoy the ride, because as you can tell, it's going to be a rough one. Sully, it's all yours.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Avenger Pretenders, where JT likes to screw up so bad that Lady Death is already working overtime on trying to get as many clips as possible.
I like to say, get it out of the way early. Shit.
Why not, right? Why not? We'll be full of those, that's for sure.
Just get it over and done with.
Oh, man, like JT said, we are reviewing episode 6 of Agatha All Along, which, interesting episode. Interesting episode.
To say the least.
To say the least, very interesting episode. And to me, that interestingness is just proving me right again. And also JT right with his theory. And Lady Death says, holy shit balls.
Well, let's put it this way. Before I even got to start watching the episode tonight, I get the following message.
Okay.
Well, this is a fucking hell of an episode with about 30 exclamation points behind it.
Kind of like the shit, holy shit balls.
And then, yeah, kind of like that. And then I got this one shortly after that. Oh, I am not telling you shit, but holy fucking hell, hold on to your hats. Take a wild guess who those messages came from.
Lady Death.
Good guess.
I mean, she didn't message me. But then again, I also watched the episode last week. So, yeah.
It's for this one, it's kind of a Monday night thing for me and Kay.
That's okay.
Taking care of the dogs. The dogs have had their food. Sure. They're chilling out, relaxing a little bit. We sit down, we have dinner, and we watch Agatha All Along.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a good episode. Now, there are going to be some people torn on this episode. However, there are also going to be people that are not torn and think this is good. As a matter of fact, before we went live, JT was reading one of the comments of whichever review he was looking at. I'm not sure which one.
Mm-hmm.
And what did it say?
This one is IGN.
IGN? And what did it say as the review? Without giving anything away?
I have never expected this show to be as good as it is, and this episode just cemented it. It no longer feels like a spin-off and has become a genuine WandaVision sequel.
Alrighty.
So he knew it was a WandaVision sequel, but it just didn't feel like a WandaVision sequel until this episode.
Okay.
Which I can understand. I can understand it.
Now, there are some other articles out there, one of which is from the AV Club. And the AV Club, they're usually pretty good with their opinions, both for and against certain things. And the title of the article that I just pulled up was, Agatha All Along Gets a Little Too Familiar.
God.
But
I know why they said it.
It gets better.
But go ahead. Yeah.
They continue with the episode 6, Familiar by Thy Side, falls into the same disappointing pattern as WandaVision. Huh? What? Explain yourselves. Now, I didn't read the article. But that was just one of this. Now, mind you, this is all in opinion pieces. You know, it's not, something to take with a grain of salt. This is just someone's opinion on it, which is perfectly fine. I would never bash anybody's opinion on it. Okay?
Oh, yeah, you would.
Well, to make jokes, yeah, but their opinion is still their opinion, and I respect it just like I would respect yours.
Right.
Do I feel
want
that
to say hi to our good friend from across the northern border, Miss Carol, has joined us in the chat room tonight. Great to have you along as always, Carol.
What's up? Do I feel that it's disappointing and falling into the pattern on WandaVision? No, I don't.
No,
I don't. And mostly because this is a whole mini series that you're probably never going to get a second season of, but it's cool because she's bad. And it's very rare we see the bad guy's point of view of things. Just remember.
Right. It would be cool if they did make a second season to this show.
It would.
And like you said, it's unlikely, but it would be pretty cool.
It would. It would. Like maybe the search for Wanda or something. Ho, ho, ho.
I guess all along the search for Wanda.
So this episode, Familiar by Thy Side, we see the backstory of Billy Kaplan. Oh, wait. Didn't I say that name numerous times? Billy Kaplan.
I don't know about numerous, but
has been mentioned
it once or twice. You may have mentioned it once or twice at least, yeah.
Which Billy Kaplan is from Eastview. Yay. The entire episode.
Conveniently located next to Westview.
It is.
Imagine that. How convenient.
Crazy. Now, for those that aren't familiar, yes, Billy Kaplan is also William Kaplan, played by Joe Locke, who is also Teen. And this entire episode is what happens to him.
Mm-hmm.
Not just him, but we see a couple of things happening. We start off at his bar mitzvah. Mazel tov. Yay. A celebration. Becoming a man.
Who knew that Billy was Jewish?
Right? Because I didn't. I'm not going to lie. and I
never crossed my mind.
I mean, even if I look at the official Marvel database, I don't think it ever mentioned that he was Jewish.
Well, up to this point, we haven't known him as anything other than Teen.
Right. But
we haven't known a name. We haven't known that he was from Eastview.
Yes.
Or anything else. We just knew him as some kid.
Yes, he's some kid that wants to become a witch. Well, at the bar mitzvah, and they go through him reading the Torah and all that, the whole celebration, and then the party afterwards. And let me tell you guys, if you've never been to a bar mitzvah, I have. I've been to a bar mitzvah, been to 2 bat mitzvahs. Freaking amazing. Amazing. I have cousins who are Jewish, and I love them so much. They're all married and have kids now, but think of a bar mitzvah and a bat mitzvah almost like a wedding. Like, you got to get dressed up. You're going to have, you're going to wear your yarmulke in the, excuse me, in the synagogue and all that. You have to. For me, I actually had hair, so it was able to stay on my head. The newer ones now just have like felt on it, so it was able to hold on to my head, no problem. But for Billy's bar mitzvah, it was all magic themed, which I thought was pretty cool. Between Harry Houdini, fortune tellers, they had Alice in Wonderland stuff, Wizard of Oz, a lot of homage to these classic films, both with Disney, without Disney, history's past with all of this stuff, and just a whole bunch of different nostalgic things. Like, you can watch the scenes and just go, oh, look at that, if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, that's okay. It's just background stuff. It's just know that it was magic themed. As we're going through, we noticed that his parents hired a palm reader. Lo and behold, the palm reader that they hired was Lilia.
How convenient.
How convenient that these two met. And yet, she didn't recognize him. What are the odds of that? What are the odds that
to do with the spell?
I don't know if it had to do with the spell or not. But she should have been able to at least recognize him. And she didn't. So he goes into her palm reading booth at his bar mitzvah. And as she's reading his palm, she flat out says, well, now, hold it. Your life is split. Doesn't that kind of make you go, wait, what? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean my life is split? What? Why would you say that? Just from reading the palm. Now, I don't know how palm reading works. I'm not a palm reader. I don't know a lot about tarot cards. I know they exist. I know each card has a different meaning. I also know that each card has a different meaning when it's facing one way or the other. That's it. That's the only basic knowledge of that I know. Palm reading, from my understanding, they read the lines in your hand, right? And Lady Death, please stop me if I'm wrong on this one. But they basically read the creases that your hand makes. Like they count the lines or something. Like, it has to do with the entire palm. And they analyze not just the palm, but the fingers, in between all the fingers. I don't know how that works. But I know that that's what they do. Okay. Now that Lilia was there and she says, well, your lifeline is split. Then we see her put, I think she's the one who actually did the hex on him with that piece of wood that she gave him, where she drew on it. I think that
was a protection spell.
A protection spell, but I also think it was that hex so he, whenever somebody said his name or he said his name, nobody understood it. I think. I'm still trying to figure out if that's the cause because he had it on him, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's the hell is it called?
A sigil.
Can't remember the name of it. But I don't think that it's the spell. I think it's just straight out a spell of protection.
Yeah, let's see.
Because there were multiple times during the reading where magic things happen.
Yes.
There's a time where the lights flickered on him, and there was a couple of times where she just kind of spaced out like she did in her kitchen when she wrote the list.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here you go.
So there were a couple of times where it did that. And I think it's just a spell of protection because she saw something in his future that she wanted to protect him from.
So okay, I just did some research. I Googled.
Okay, Nakai, real quick. I need to jump in now. She is the one that did the Seagull. That's what it's called. And that is why when they met up again later, she did not know who he was. That's right, because it did say, we did see in last episodes that sometimes the Seagull affects the person that casts it.
Right.
Just as much as it does the one they cast it on.
Okay, gotcha.
There you go.
But is it Seagull or Sigil? Because, and the only reason why I'm asking is, you know, we've got two different spellings, and I want to make sure it's right.
It's Sigil.
Okay, so if it's Sigil, just from doing a little Google search, did a Google search. It's a type of symbol used in magic, usually a pictorial signature of a spirit, such as an angel, demon, or deity. In modern usage, especially in the context of chaos magic, it refers to a symbolic representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. So if her outcome was to protect him because of his broken lifeline, and that the broken lifeline, which was split into two, as she put it, that's where I think the whole, you know, you're not going to be remember the name, not going to remember the person, that whole thing, because she didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Whatever was
Nakai also said that as soon as she drew it and slipped it into his coat, she has no idea which team left the coat in her tent.
Yes. Which is also
I didn't catch that. Well, I did catch that she didn't remember who it was, but it didn't click that was why. But now it does make sense.
Right. Now it makes, that part makes sense. I mean, I knew she said, I don't remember which one, and literally gave it to his mother. Here you go. It's your son's coat. Enjoy. You know, it worked. It worked. So now we've got this little situation going on where, okay, she already hexed him or put the sigil on. I'm going to just call it a hex because that's really what it was. It was a hex. To have her forget and anybody else that tried to remember the name or hear the name that was magic bound. If I remember correctly, it was only magic bound. Humans who didn't have the power can hear the name. If I'm, you know, remembering this right. From like, what was it, episode 2? Yeah, I think episode 2 is where they said, you know, only witches. It was only, there wasn't a hex though. Hex, okay. But in a lot of ways, it was kind of negative toward other witches. But yes, you're right. So sigil, hex, it was just something to help protect him or his name and his broken lifeline. The rest of the party is going on. Only the father now gets up on stage because they have to announce that everybody needs to leave because of whatever's happening at Westview. For their own safety, they need to go home. And that's where...
And this...
Go ahead.
This really helps to cement the timeline of when this was going on.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the emergency broadcast that goes out at the same time as the father is on the stage, you know, is saying something is going on in Westview. Everybody needs to go home now.
Right.
So, you know, and then as they're driving home, when they look out the window, you can see the dome.
Yes, you can, and you can see the
from
hex.
The final episodes of Wanda.
Was it no, the rune? Sorry, the rune. You can see the rune on the side that Wanda was casting to make sure that Agatha couldn't do any more spells in there. So we not only see the dome, it's getting smaller, but you also see the rune on the wall But that's also a distraction to the other drivers, which causes his father and mother to crash their car, and Billy Kaplan's head smashes into the window.
Well, they slammed into a tree.
Well, they slammed into a tree.
His door.
Slid, they turned
his door right into a tree.
Yeah, they went all over the place. But they went in,
Yeah.
they hit the tree sideways, though.
Yeah, they hit Billy's door.
Yeah.
And Billy went, "Wow."
You're okay, Lady Death. You are not being a shit. You're being a part of the conversation. That's
well,
what we
and like
want.
I said, we want to keep it straight.
It's what we want. For me, it's just easier to say a hex. I understand. I don't understand that stuff. I know one's good, one's bad. That's it. That's all I know. One's good, one's bad.
Bell is good, hex is bad.
Yeah, exactly. So I know hex is bad. It's okay to nitpick. Believe me, I don't understand this stuff. That's why I always say I don't understand the whole magic thing.
If we want you to stop doing something, we'll tell you.
Exactly. That's why I say, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I do
We
say
know
it.
it's your area. That's why we ask.
I know I say it. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. Which is why I said, correct me if I'm wrong. They read this. And you didn't know much about palm reading. Great. Tarot cards. I know each card is something different. I also know that each card has a different meaning depending on which way it's turned. Up, down, left, right, positioned over on the left, right. It's all different. It has different meanings. What those are, no fucking clue.
Luckily, we're not dealing with tarot cards here. So
thank God, because I'm sure I'll be like, help, help me.
you'd be like, Nikaya, call.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it set up, but yeah. Be a part of it. You're not nitpicking. Don't worry. You're good. You're good. And she goes, that's a different entire ball of wax. Yes, I know. That's why I don't know shit. I mean, hell, when I wrote a script with tarot cards, I had to ask somebody who knew about tarot cards just so I could understand this is what I wanted to say. And this is what I wanted to mean. Oh yeah, do this. Use this card here, this card there. I'm like, great. Thank you. Because I don't know. I don't know that stuff. I want to know, but I don't. But anyway, so we see the car smash into the tree. And obviously his mother and father had their seatbelt on. And did he even have a seatbelt? I don't think he had his seatbelt on. I think he was just in the back seat.
I think he was sitting in the middle.
Yeah, either the middle or on the side, and he was leaning over or something. But he did see the hex, not the hex, the dome. He did see the dome, which was part of the distraction. And then as the car as they lost control of the car because of the other vehicles, and
well, no, it was her that was in the way. The other vehicle was coming straight down the road.
Right. They were in the way.
To get out of the way.
It was a big mess, and they went off the road, crashed into a tree, and his head just, bam, slammed into the window. Windows shattered. He's sitting there. Basically, his head is leaning over. I don't want to say it was outside of the vehicle, but it was definitely on the door. His head was on the door. And all you see is just blood. And he's not moving, but you can hear the heartbeat. And then the heartbeat stops. So right then and there, Billy Kaplan, dead. That was the old cliche of the beating heart, and now it's done. You know he's dead. They're calling 911 to get him out there. But at the same time, as the dome is collapsing, the car hits the tree. Billy Kaplan slams his head and is now dead. The dome over Westview is now gone. And Billy Kaplan wakes up. But he not only wakes up, but what does he say, JT?
I didn't catch it.
Really? You didn't catch it? Ooh. He wakes up saying, Tommy!
I didn't catch that.
A clue. Tommy. Do we know who Tommy is? Because I do. And if you paid attention, not just to WandaVision, but to this episode, you go, son of a bitch. Because now, Billy Kaplan is now Billy Maximoff.
But he doesn't know that.
You're right. He doesn't know that. But in a lot of ways, I think he does at this point in time, even though he's, trying to remember things and all that, because he did call out for Tommy. So he knows his brother Tommy is out there somewhere.
A lot of times people don't remember what they say when they come out like that.
Very true.
So my thinking is, and if you look at his reactions as we go along.
Yep.
He's too confused.
Very confused.
He's way too confused to even have an inkling of what's going on.
Yep.
I don't think he really figures out what's going on. I can't say when he figures it out, but it's a little bit later on in this episode.
Right. And this entire time, we're in the hospital and he's being able to read their minds, which is something that Billy Maximoff was able to do. He had telekinesis, just like Wanda did. He can read minds. He can conjure up things. His brother Tommy, if you remember, was just like Quicksilver, his uncle. And he was able to zoom up and down and do whatever he needed to. But that's why Billy Maximoff is known as Wiccan. That's his superhero name. He's Wiccan. He's just like the Scarlet Witch. He can do those things. He can read your mind. He can frickin' do whatever he wants and distort and twist and do whatever. I still don't think he's unlocked his full potential even in the comic books as a teenager now. But because of that, now he's trying to go, okay, I can read everybody's thoughts. They keep calling me Billy Kaplan. That's going to be my name for now. I need to figure things out. I don't remember anything from the whatchamacallit, the end of WandaVision where he disappeared to the car accident. So he doesn't remember anything about his life beforehand or Billy Kaplan's life. So now he's doing the whole amnesia thing and trying to get better and faking it.
Slight correction for you. Yes. Nakaya says that he has telepathy, not telekinesis.
Yeah, but he does actually have telekinesis.
But he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that.
All he knows right now is that he's reading minds.
Yes. He is.
But the interesting thing is he's only reading the minds of people he's close to.
Yes. Because, again, he doesn't have that full-on ability to do it.
He doesn't know everything yet.
Yeah. So just from a comic book standpoint with with Wiccan, here are his abilities per the comics. He's got the magical abilities, which is also able to control chaos magic, just like his mother. He has flight. He hasn't figured that out. He can warp reality. He has sonic abilities like telekinesis and telepathy. He can use it for mental control, astral projection like Doctor Strange, and precognition. Yes. He can also, this is pretty cool, he can also manipulate the elements and can do cryokinesis, photokinesis, and electrokinesis. He can create force fields, he can teleport, and he can heal. That's a lot of stuff.
Oh, look who his mom was.
Yep. Well, that's the thing.
And his dad.
Look at his mom. So,
And his dad.
so that's a lot of different abilities that he has no idea he has right now. He only knows of the magic and the telepathy. He hasn't even gotten to any of the other stuff yet.
I don't think he knows about the magic either.
Well, he does know about the mind control too, because he did that in the previous episode where he controlled them to basically take Agatha and, you know, mess her up.
But we're not talking about now. We're talking about
right. At this point in time, he's only got the telepathy.
The one thing he knew was that he could hear people's thoughts.
Yep, which was driving him crazy.
Mm-hmm. It would drive me nuts too.
Hearing all the thoughts and going, what do I do?
Well, and your parents sitting there going, is he, you know, worrying about him like they are and everything else. And, you know, he actually yelled at him at home.
Yes.
Stop worrying about me. I'm fine.
Stop worrying.
You know, and all that. And he, every now and then, like when he's going up to his room, he makes a comment to his mother that she hadn't said out loud.
Right.
I can't remember exactly what it was, you know, but she hadn't said it, and you saw her reaction. She's like, "Wait a minute, I never said that."
Yeah. Well, even his father, he did that with his father too.
Yeah, yeah, we did it with both of them, you know, and they're like, "Wait, I didn't." Yeah, dinner is on him was the one that he said to his dad just before he went. You know, when I come down, we'll go have dinner on me. You know,
dinner's on me.
So.
And they both did that weird, like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I didn't say anything. Well, it's like when they first came into the room when he was in the hospital.
Yeah, he was hearing all.
When eventually they, you know, they told him that the doctor says that you could go home. His dad walks in and calls, you know, how you doing, Chief, or something like that.
Yep.
And you know, Billy
answered.
doesn't react the way he normally would have.
Yep.
And, you know, and he says, and his dad looks at him and goes, this is where you say, my name's not Chief, or something, you know, something along those lines.
Yep.
So, you know, there's little things, you know.
It's the small stuff.
Yeah. Especially, I'm finding that with this show, the small stuff is the stuff that speaks the loudest a lot of times. And so far in this show.
But the thing is, and I'm sure you can agree with me on this, you're noticing the small stuff more and more now with as we're progressing.
A little bit.
You know, at one point,
I know more what to look for now. You know.
Well, that and at one point you really weren't noticing the small stuff or the stuff in the background, but now I would say for what we've been doing Avenger Pretenders for 2-3 years now. 3 years. So
yeah.
So you have come a long way to start noticing those little tiny snippets that are basically going, wait a second, hold it. Did anybody notice that? Whoa. And you're using it too, which is even
not
better.
On purpose.
No, not on purpose, because you have to. It's something that you notice, but
it's not on purpose.
it's.
I'm still trying to maintain the dumbass redneck when I watch these shows.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's okay. You're doing very good. We're gonna call you the redneck geek soon. Mm-hmm. Hey, we can
call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
We can dream, you know. We can
dream the impossible dream.
So in reality, basically what happened, just to kind of wrap it up with that, was that as Billy was dying, and did die, Billy Maximoff was able to be saved by going into another body, which means his twin brother is out there somewhere too. Which also means we may see a reuniting of the brothers, not in this series, maybe somewhere else down the line, because now we're starting to bring in the Young Avengers. Which the Young Avengers, there's a lot of people in this that they've already brought in. And we've seen them all. But we'll get into that at the end of the episode. Okay? So after they're hijacked, we see Billy doing research. Not just any research. What was it? They fast forwarded 3 years, or was it? Yeah, 3 years, right? I think
3 years. Yes.
3 years.
Yep. 3 years.
So from the situation at Westfield, we're now back to present day, and he's done a lot of different research, and even brings his boyfriend into the mix because, hey, there's this guy that I want to meet. He's got information for me about certain things. And as they're sitting there talking, they're doing what boyfriends do, just like boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, girl, whatever. Yes, he is an original gay character. Done. We know this. They kept it perfect from the source material. Okay? Now, with that being said, we see his boyfriend looking at him, admiring him. And then we hear his thoughts. I want to say I love you. And he hears the thoughts because, you know, he could do that. And he said, well, I love you too. What do you mean you love me too? It's the whole cutesy thing going on. But it's also him talking to him about wanting to meet this person to find out the information that he's got. He's like, yeah, sure. I'll come along. And they show the research. They show everything up on his wall. They show Westview. They show the dome. They show the rune. They show all these other different things going on. And a notebook that he's been writing in and finding things to help him along. And then he sneaks out, obviously. Him and the boyfriend go for a drive. They go to a parking garage. A dark parking garage. Now, most people who have significant others would go, ooh, a dark parking garage. Let's go in the back seat and have some fun. No. In this case, we're seeing a couple of different things. First and foremost, the boyfriend. His name is Eddie. Now, Eddie could technically be another character, which we'll mention later. It's possible. Nicknames, just, you know, putting it out there, but unofficial. Number 2 is who they're meeting. Did you catch the username by any chance, JT, of who they were meeting?
I did, but I don't remember it.
You don't remember Ralph Boner?
Nope.
No? You don't remember Ralph Boner at all?
Nope.
The same Ralph Boner who had his mind taken over by Agatha Harkness, his house taken over, his headshot had Ralph Boner on it, and he was a neighbor to Wanda Maximoff, and also Quicksilver. From the X-Men timeline, not the MCU. Good old Ralph Boner. Yes. We see him back. That's right. They got Evan Peters to reprise his role as Ralph Boner. Because Ralph Boner, also known as Bonerific 69, Bonerific 69. Gotta love it. Ties in perfectly. Ties in perfectly. It did. It tied in. He's a survivor of Westview that no one will believe. So he lost everything and has a huge issue with Agatha. Huge.
Well, yeah, she put him under a spell, took over his house.
Yep.
But, all that good stuff.
But he did escape.
I'd have an issue with her, too.
As a matter of fact, the exact words that he said: she stole my house, completely ruined the market value. She made me do these horrible things like I held this really nice lady hostage in my attic. I was a terrible influence on Wanda and Vision's kids, and I poisoned a dog. Which is exactly what happened in WandaVision. So if you didn't see that, go back and watch.
But now you know what he did.
Now you know what he did. So the other thing is, because of all of that, after he gained his freedom, he had to sneak around and found a way to get himself out of the ankle monitor that was tracking him, and he left. So he escaped, which was good, and he didn't want to go back. He's pretty much harmless, but you can see that the damage had been done. Full beard, all this cloak and dagger type stuff. For him, his life was over. But he gave Billy a lot of good information about what happened at Westview and all about Agatha and what she did. Not Wanda, Agatha. And then we just start seeing Billy's take on things. And he starts going over his research again. The book of spells that he has. He gets a text from Eddie saying it was fun. Didn't know we were going to go that deep, but it was fun. And then he sends him a message with a little black heart on it, which could be taken a couple of different ways. But again, we'll get into that. From there, now we start seeing Billy's position on meeting Agatha. Agatha's already going crazy. We know she's going crazy. We see his point of view from when she starts interrogating him. We see his point of view from the pictures, the gun in the holster. That was hysterical.
Yeah, the water hose.
That was funny. Oh, the other thing that I forgot to mention, there was other ties to the other witches. While Billy
there was ties to all of them.
Yeah, every single one of them. I can't believe I missed.
Before you go too much further, I want to say that this is the scene, in my opinion. This is the scene where he realizes what's going on. As he's sitting there doing his research, has a certain album playing in the background, writing everybody's names down, this, that, and the other thing, and all of a sudden the words start clicking from the song playing in the background, which just so happens to be what?
The Witch's Road.
Ballad of the Witch's Road, done by...
what's her name's mother? It was the record.
Yep.
But you also have to remember...
Alice's mom.
Yep, and just to kind of point, more full circle, she was also the cop or first responder on scene of the accident. Yep. He was watching the YouTube videos of Jennifer, so there was that. The other tie-ins, obviously, were with Agatha and running through and, doing the whole chase scene for the police and all that stuff. So now everything's coming full circle to episode 1 up until now.
Yeah, because I mean, in the chase scene, you know, the things that we didn't see before was when she fell off the roof, he fell off the roof.
Yep.
She got up to chase him. He's like, "No, I'm just trying to help," you know. And it was a whole comical series of events, same as it was in episode 1, but this time it was from the chasee's point of view.
Yep. So it was all on Billy's side of things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get back to the Witch's Road. Exactly where we left off. Only this time we see the mud start moving. And Agatha pulls herself out. Not only does she pull herself out, but now she says, "You didn't really think I was dead, did you?" Like, what a great dig at him. Like, hey, you didn't get the job done, you know? Like, what's up with that? And now we're seeing more toward the conflict that's going to happen between Agatha and Billy. Because now Agatha is all about, I knew who you were from the start.
She suspected.
Well, she suspected. Yes, that's right. She suspected.
Yeah. Because he's like, "When did you figure it out?" She's like, "Oh, I suspected it all along." But
Lady Death says that was almost straight out of the Grunge or the Ring. Yeah. No, yeah,
kind of.
right.
It was a very unique line that she used to reveal that. Well, first she asked him his name again.
What's your name?
And he says, "William Kaplan."
Yep. And she goes, "No."
No, she goes, "No. What is your name?"
Yep.
And he stops for a second and goes, "Billy Maximoff."
Yep. Therefore,
how did you figure it out? You and your mother have the same tell.
Yep.
You and your mother have the same tell. To me, and I kind of agree with the people that, or the person that wrote this article, kind of a cheap way to get out of it.
To an
Especially
extent.
the fact that she doesn't reveal what that tell is.
Right.
Which hopefully she will, you know,
I think eventually.
In the next 3 episodes.
I think eventually she may say what the tell is. But you see, now we know that he does realize his name is Billy Maximoff. We also know that everything that he researched was so he can get Agatha's help to either A, find his mother, who I still say is not dead. Okay.
Right. Well, and this was an interesting thing that she went through. She's like, well, okay, well, what is it that you, because as we know, according to the legend of the Witch's Road, you will find what you're missing.
Yes.
If you are able to get to the end of the Witch's Road. So she's trying to figure out, well, what's he missing?
But for her, she says power. You're missing power. Right. And he goes, no, I'm not. And then she goes, where's the speedy one? Where's your brother? The fast one.
Yeah, because she's like, well, let's see. Would it be to find mommy? No, because, you know, you're mad at her anyway.
Yep.
What about find daddy? Well, maybe, or at least, you know, we don't know. We have no clue where he is.
Yeah, Vision's off on his own.
He may be in pieces.
Well, that's what she said. That he's probably
it refers back because they actually said earlier in the episode, I can't remember what it was, but that it was rumored that they had cut him into pieces for spare parts. Oh, the guy in the carport.
Yes,
he's the one that said it. That they dissected him.
Ralph Boner. But you got to remember, he doesn't know that the white vision exists.
Right.
He doesn't
But,
know.
this is just going off of what they say.
Right. And that's
You know,
basically
and-
what Sword, not Shield, Sword, because they were the ones in charge of the whole Westview thing. They disabled the original Vision.
Mhm.
And they rebuilt him into the White Vision, and they sent White Vision in to take care of Wanda.
Yeah.
But again, this is in WandaVision. So we see that as everything is collapsing, the White Vision leaves after all was said and done. He left, leaving the created Vision in Westview, in that dome, to fade away. But that White Vision also was able to merge with the real Vision and get the personalities and the memories back.
Right.
So
but
he
the
is
point,
out there.
The point being that the rumors that everybody heard, because obviously he didn't see that, all that stuff happened, was that they had cut him into pieces and used him as spare parts.
Right.
Which in a way they kind of did.
Yep.
And that's what they were, and that's what she's referencing, was back to Boner's conversation where he said that. And she's like, no, that's not it. Oh. And then she's like, oh, your brother Toby.
Yeah. No, not Toby. Yeah, that's right. Toby. She says Toby, and he goes, no, Tommy.
Yep.
So in reality, what his mission is to survive the road to find Tommy.
Yep, to find his brother.
That is the biggest thing that he wants. Will he be able to find his mother? Sure, afterward. But Tommy is more important to him because Tommy is his brother.
Right.
Okay. Even Agatha says, you're just like your mother. And he's like, no, I'm not. She goes, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And right beforehand, he takes the hood, puts it over his head, and walking barefoot, he walks down the path of the road behind her. Because they're in it. They're in it.
Yeah.
Now, supposedly, Jennifer and Ilya are dead, supposedly. We don't see them. We don't see them, but supposedly they're dead. Yeah. Rio is not.
We still haven't seen her.
Right. We haven't seen her come out of the house. We haven't seen her afterwards. So we do have that option of Rio probably saving Jennifer and Lily.
Possible.
It's possible. Don't know.
Yeah.
Theory right now. Because I know they're not going to get rid of all of them. They're not dead. If Agatha was able to climb out, those two were able to climb out. Because they
Possibly.
were... I mean, yes.
We don't. I mean, and that's the thing, and that's the kind of the nice thing is them leaving it up in the air like that, because we don't know what it was that made it to where Wanda was able, or Agatha was able to pull herself out.
Right.
It may have been some of the witch's powers that she held.
It's true.
We don't know. So we don't know if those two are going to be able to pull themselves out as well, or if Rio's going to save them. So next thing they leave that kind of there as an opening. But one thing I want to add to as this episode ends, as Billy's walking down the road with his hood up.
Absolutely.
Is the very small conversation, very pointed conversation that Billy had with Agatha. Which was him coming very close to her, looking her straight in the face and saying, I don't trust you. I will never trust you.
Yep.
And I think that was when she says, you're just like your mom, and turn around and start walking down the road.
Yep. And as Lady Death just says, he says, I'm not that nice.
Right. And that's the thing is you're starting to see the tough guy side of Billy, whereas, he had to play two, he's playing two characters.
Yeah.
In real life, he was William, and to make the things happen that he wanted to have happen, which was to get on the witch's road, he had to play the shy kid and blah, 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 and everything else to get Agatha to take him along.
Yep.
And those kind of things. But now we see Billy. And Billy, even as a kid, didn't put up with the shit.
Right.
He was a very straightforward kid, like most kids are, especially at that age. They tell you what they think. They don't have a filter.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm never going to trust you.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Never. And she's like I said, I think that's where she says, yep, you're just like your mother. And turns around and starts heading off to the next trial. And that's when he starts to follow her and pulls the hood up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very pointed, very pointed statement from him at her about that,
Yes.
situation there. But that may end up working against him. It all depends. Is he, because they're going to have to work together to pass these next two tasks.
Yeah.
They've done 3. They got 2 more to go.
And we'll see.
And they're going to have to be able to work together. So he's going to have to be able to trust her a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. Not a lot. Just a little bit.
Just a little. And that's okay.
It's going to be interesting to see where it goes,
Now, just to bring everybody up to speed before we give our rating of the episode, the reason that we've seen some of these names, including Billy Kaplan / William Maximoff, including his brother, Tommy, we're seeing the members of the Young Avengers. Okay?
Okay.
Now you're probably saying to yourself, Sully, wait a minute. What do you mean? Well, just remember, at the end of a certain movie, Ant-Man Quantumania, we see Cassie Lang meet up with another Avenger at the end. Maybe somebody by the name of Hawkeye. No, sorry, not Cassie. It wasn't Cassie. Sorry, that was my fault. Ms. Marvel meets up with her. Okay? It was at the end of the Marvels. But we've seen America Chavez in Doctor Strange. We've seen Hawkeye in Hawkeye. We've seen Hulkling in She-Hulk. We've seen Iron Lad to an extent. He wasn't Iron Man Lad until after Endgame, but we'll probably see him eventually. We've seen Kid Loki. We've seen Patriot. Yes, Patriot. If you don't believe me, go back and watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've seen Speed and Wiccan. We've seen Stinger / Stature, who's Cassie Lang. We've seen Vision. We're missing one. Norvar. We'll see what happens with him, but he's part of the Runaways. So we'll see. And technically he's been around with Runaways, but we almost have the entire team of the Young Avengers that we've seen in the MCU. So more to come on that one, but we've seen them. They're there. They're there. Keep your eye out. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But all in all, Billy's mission is to get his brother back. Now, for me, I like the episode. I don't think it was misplaced. I like how they tied it all together. I like that they linked all the witches to Billy Maximoff. I called Billy Maximoff was Billy Kaplan episodes ago. And I was also told that I'm not allowed to watch this stuff anymore because I guess it right away. I'll give you a hint as to who did that. But in the long run, I love that
you do kind of ruin it for people.
I try not to. I do try not to, but you know, it happens. For me, this episode, because there's a couple of things that they probably could have added, but I'm going to give it a 4. It was almost 3.25. Almost 3.25, but there was the inclusion of Ralph Boner and everything that happened with the, you know, the story of him escaping Westview and all that added to it. And of course, me being right on, you know, William Kaplan / teen being Billy Maximoff proved my point. I could write this stuff. But everything's tied together for a reason. Everything. I love that the entire episode, and this was actually the longest episode, was all about him and his background and how he became Billy Kaplan from everything that happened in Westview. So even though Westview was gone, Wanda went off on her own, and her boys were technically destroyed because she had to let them go. She still technically saved them, which is good. Now we just need to find out where Tommy is. And I think we'll get that answer at the end of the season. I really do. What that'll be, no idea. But I'm giving this week's episode a 4. 4 Witches Hat. 4 Witches Hat. What you got, sir?
Well, it was a good episode.
Yep.
It was an interesting episode. And it's interesting that you made the comment that you didn't feel it was misplaced, because the only reason you said that was because of the conversation that you and I had before the show,
yep,
where I told you that it felt like it wasn't in the right spot. It was misplaced.
So why do you think that?
Well, and like I said then, I don't know.
Okay.
It just didn't feel right. You know? This episode was a huge letdown for me.
Really?
Huge letdown. And you know me, I love backstories. I love to know what happened to this person to get them to the point that they are. I love backstories.
But
it just didn't feel like this was the time to throw the backstory in where they did.
Okay.
I almost feel like it would have been better if they put it between them coming out of the last task or the third task and him throwing Wanda and the other two into the goo. Or as I call them, the Witches Road La Brea tar pits.
Okay.
I don't know. It was a good episode, but it wasn't. You know, and again, you know me, I have issues with going from all kinds of action and everything else, which episode 5 was, to nothing.
Huh.
You know, but, and again, I understand the slowdown, but you know that I have an issue with the slowdown that sudden, that fast, that hard, that
Very
quick.
True. Very true.
I like the information that was revealed. I love the backstory for Billy and everything. I love the fact that Billy finally figured out who the hell Billy was. You know, and knew it the entire time that he was with Agatha.
Mm-hmm.
And never revealed it till now. But The best I can do is a 2.
Wow.
Two witches. That's the best I can do on this episode.
I think that's probably one of the lowest episodes you've ever rated. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, even Kay, and you know how Kay is about this stuff.
I do, yeah.
Even she was disappointed in this episode.
Really?
It was good. Don't get me wrong. I agree with the sentiments that Nakia sent me while she was watching it today. Yep. I do. But it just didn't come across for me. It really didn't. And it was hard for me to give it a 2.
Wow.
But you have me here to get the outsider's view.
That's it. I mean, that's the whole
I don't
point.
get much further outside than me.
Nope. Wow.
Even the guy's like, what?
She also says you're cracked in the head.
Yeah, I'm cracked in the head. Well, Miss Nakia, what is? Oh, she gave it a 4.5 witches hats.
She did, yes, she did. So, hey, listen, that's okay. You're on the lower end, perfectly
but nothing,
fine.
You know, Siskel and Ebert didn't always agree either.
That's true. Very, very true.
I don't want to be one of those shows where I follow your track all the time.
No. You do
We're
you,
always
man.
on the same.
You do you.
As we well know, I march to the beat of my own drum, and sometimes I lose both sticks.
Sometimes it's a dull drum too.
Sometimes the head breaks, literally and figuratively.
Thump, thump. Well, that, my friends, is the end of this week's episode of Avenger Pretenders. Now, there's only 3 episodes of Agatha All Along left this week, and then there's 2 on the 30th, right before Halloween. Yep. So we're going to see some interesting things hopefully happen, and maybe JT will turn around that too. You never know. Never know.
Up to them.
Agatha All Along is out this Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Disney Plus. Disney Plus does not sponsor this show. Be cool if they did. But
yes, it would.
It would be. But for the redneck, there he is. He's saying goodbye now.
Bye-bye now. See you later. Hasta la vista, baby. It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. And it's Lady Death says that needs to be restretched. But for the redneck, I am the Geek Sully. Thank you once again for tuning in to Avenger Pretenders. We will see you next week for episode 7, and we will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Sully Show. So make sure you keep it locked in. Lady Death has a great prep sheet already prepped for us and ready to go, and we will see you tomorrow. And for the record, Thanos was right. Have a good night, everybody.